Hey everybody, Jackie Walter sitting here with Joy McMurchy, and we're just going to ask a few questions about Joy to get to know her a little bit better. She's part of our Future Proof team, where we're here to be a resource to people in the community to create a crisis proof retirement. So, Joy, what industry are you in?
I am in the financial services industry, and I work with a full service financial firm, and we do everything from life insurance to retirement accounts, investment, managing 401ks, assets under management, estate plans, college plans, sort of the full gamut.
That's awesome. I'm sure that people could really utilize your services, especially now when the future is so uncertain. We don't really know what to plan for. How did you get started in this industry?
I was actually a client first.
Oh,
So one of the things that's really important to our company is financial education, and they offered a set of free financial classes in my small town. And my husband and I were wanting to buy a house, but we felt like we sort of been priced out of the market and weren't sure how to do that. We went through the classes, and at the end they said, and we'll sit down with you and help you make a personal financial plan for free. And we were like, free is fantastic. And so over the course of that, they helped us find the money in our budget to buy a house, make sure we had our retirement set up, and also the proper amount of life insurance. And just going through that experience, seeing how valuable having a sort of little scout leader in the industry for you, finding the things that were appropriate for your situation was wonderful. And I was like, is this something that I could do? And they said, sure, we'll train you how to do it. So that was what I did. And I started 3.5 years ago.
oh, wow. What a cool story. And what a fun way to get into the business, starting out as a client first and like getting that experience and then being able to turn around and give that to other people. So, what are you most passionate about with your industry?
Um, I think my client experience gave me the passion for this, knowing that, we're just like ordinary people who didn't think that we could afford, top-notch financial planning services. And yet they were willing to work with us and help us find what we needed. And it was in our price range. And that was really what became so important to me, is making sure that people have access to an industry that has been traditionally geared towards the super wealthy,
Mhm.
but that doesn't have to be the case. The average person can get the same level of planning, can have access to the same products as those people, and being able to see my clients change their own financial futures and the financial futures of their family and create a legacy is so rewarding to me. And that's something that I hope eventually everyone will have the opportunity to do, is have that level of guidance and support.
That's huge. I know a lot of people have a mindset that they maybe have to make a certain amount of money or be at a certain level of savings before they can really speak to a financial advisor or financial educator, but that's not the case. So, what is your goal as being part of this resource team?
Um, how I even got connected to it yet again comes back to my personal experience having in-laws who went through a financial crisis that was spurred by a health crisis. My
Mhm.
father-in-law had a stroke a year ago, and we went through all of the crises all at the same time, just because they weren't prepared. And at that time, I didn't know that there were people like Alicia or Donna in the industry who had skills and knowledge that would help make that transition easier,
Mhm.
and even could have done some advanced planning for my family that would have made it not a crisis in the first place. And so really wanting to make sure that more information is available to the people so that they are prepared, and like our motto says, crisis proof their future, um, so that they and their families don't have to go through what my family did.
Oh, that's really compassionate of you. I understand wanting to help people avoid that situation. So, well, we're running short on time, but what is one thing that people don't usually know about you, Joy?
Well, this is actually something I just recently found out about myself. Back at Christmas time, I found out that I have ADHD, which I never would have guessed in a million years. But just going through the process of discovering that about myself, it's really given me a new perspective on how this, how people with the same condition, it does not necessarily a disadvantage. In fact, in some ways there's an advantage. It's like I can focus on something like no one else can and pop out a PowerPoint in 3 hours. But at the same time, I do need to approach things in a little bit different way. And it's really given me a lot of insight to help my clients who are also dealing with ADHD. And just having that perspective that there's not necessarily one right way to go about things every time, but matching and tailoring what I'm doing to people's individual needs has been a real great experience on learning how to do that recently.
Oh, wow, that's huge. Well, you're tackling it really well. It seems like you're adjusting. So I'm so glad to be part of this team with you and just get to know you better, and your heart for other people and their financial education is apparent. So really excited to be working with you and being a resource team with you.
Well, thank you so much, Jackie. I really appreciate you too.
Thanks, Joy.